You have arrived to the Plunge Into Prosperity podcast, where sacred wisdom meets regenerative wealth. I'm your host, Brandi Kolosky of Sacral Capital. Now let's plunge in. Welcome back to Plunge Into Prosperity, everyone. This is episode 23. I'm Brandi Kolosky, and today's guest spends her days teaching machines to make sense of the energy grid, which sounds abstract until you realize the entire clean energy transition runs on data nobody's actually organized yet. My guest is Maryann Chen, founder and CEO of Kaasai, an AI company automating the collection, translation, and management of data for the energy sector, the infrastructure work that has to exist before any of our climate goals can become real. Before founding Kaasai, Maryann spent years inside finance, treasury functions, cash flow compliance, the discipline side of capital. So she's building this company with an operator's instinct for where the money actually moves. Maryann, welcome to the show. I'm honored to have you.
Thanks, Brandi, and thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very excited.
Yes, I'm excited to share this company and journey of yours because we are investing in the energy sector and data sector, which we call infrastructure, build, empower, and then digital infrastructure. So that's just some of our pillars there. So for those that are new here, tell them why they should continue listening to this particular episode.
Look, when we talk about plunging into things and, like getting things done that's not necessarily in your comfort zone, I think I'm pretty good at doing that. I've always had a just do it philosophy, and that's how I sort of jumped into this current business of mine. I tend to jump into things irrespective of my expertise because I believe that you can actually learn. And I think intuitively, if you pattern spot, if you talk to certain people, you have a look at what's available, you can actually see where there's gaps in the market. And then you obviously figure out the details. And that process of learning, that is something that you can do. And I think a lot of people think, I don't know this. I'm not an expert in this. So therefore, I'm not going to do it. And then you lose out on so many great opportunities. And that's in life as well, life and career.
Agree. I love the term pattern spotting. I feel like I just naturally do that. I was on a pod with another woman, Dr. Julie Pham, which you definitely should connect with. And she teaches teams at like Google and Amazon how to, and also in her books and TEDx talks, how to be more curious. And it's because everyone thinks it's a characteristic, but really it's everyone has the ability to be curious, but it's how much you lean into that curiosity. And when you're leaning out of curiosity, you will spot those patterns, right? So I love that. And I practice the same. I preach the same, girl. So how did you first discover your own personal definition of what true prosperity really means to you? How are you actively embodying it and stewarding that vision in your life and work today?
I think for true prosperity, it's a combination of all factors in your life. Basically prosperity to me is the ability to not only make choices, but to also look after your family. And you can do that in so many ways. One of the things that you do with is obviously financial. So you obviously build a nest egg for them, but it's also about what world are you going to leave them? Is the world that we're going to leave them better than we got it? And at the moment, this question is being asked constantly globally. And I think I would like to be a very, very big impact in how to deliver a positive change for my daughter and the next generation because they're so important. They're our future, the future of humanity. So I think, yeah.
That's beautiful. And so what was there one decision though that like made that bold plunge where you look back now and say that was the moment that shifted everything?
Absolutely. So it's going to sound really funny, but I don't have any expertise previously in building technology products. I designed them, I implemented them. But somehow along the lines, I went, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to see what I can do in this use case using data, using AI. Let's have a look at the technology. But I think one of the most interesting parts of that was I actually started the company when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I was 3 months pregnant, and everybody thought I was insane.
No, not. I mean, I know it's so wild that everyone thinks that that's insane. Because the Prime Minister of New Zealand, right before COVID, she became Prime Minister, and she got pregnant, and she wasn't even married yet, and led the whole company through the pregnancy, through the birth. I mean, I don't like to like go male, female all the time and like be this like super feminist or anything, but we can do it all, and we become more intuitive when we get
Mhm.
pregnant as well. I was just looking at a study of the brain and how you're able to, like, women's brains change
Yeah.
to be more intuitive and to be able to seek out those patterns or no, or messages or things of this nature. So continue.
So yeah, I was pregnant and I went for this massive grant program and like literally it was like a startup. I just incorporated the company. I just had a look at whether I can do this grant.
Kasai.
Kasai.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just incorporated it. I had a look at what programs they were, had a look at the different technologies. So I ended up partnering up with these private equity owned businesses in the UK, and also, universities to be able to pull off this 1.4 million pound V2X demonstration grant. And it's something I had no idea what I was doing. Zero. I figured it out. And I built the team and it's been amazing. And yeah.
Ah, wow. That is beautiful. Well, so give us a little bit more color on what Kasai is. And yeah, that's it. What's the background on it?
Kaasai is so look, I've always had an interest in data, right? It sounds a bit
Mm-hmm.
nerdy, but data sets you free. And this is the thing. We go around and we make all these assumptions, we talk about a lot of things, but really it's about the data. It backs it all up. And I
Mm,
believe it makes people honest.
mm-hmm.
And so for me, the passion is, hey, let's make people honest. Let's create efficiency. Let's drive profitability for businesses. So
Yep.
how do we do that? We know it's always been a system problem, a data problem. So
Yeah.
how do I build a platform in which I can connect up to any data set? I can be the orchestration layer across distributed energy assets, the grid, powered land and all that. And together you can actually create certain amounts of efficiency around your business. So in our pilot study, we actually created about 40% efficiency in operating expenses.
Amazing. I have definitely a few identified companies I'll be doing due diligence on that are in the power sector. So we'll definitely need to connect on that. And yes, exactly. And so, who are your current clients or projects you're working on?
Yep. So we finished the V2X program on HGVs. We
What is
then
it? Can
um,
you
vehicle to
be?
grid. So it's
Yep.
vehicle to grid. It's new technologies, basically using your vehicle as a bidirectional battery flow back to the grid when you want to manage the load. So yeah, because all the grid networks in the West are very constrained. They're old.
Yes.
And the US in particular is state by state driven. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
complexity around it, and there's a lot of capacity issues they have, especially
Yes.
now. We've got AI coming, we've got AI here. Data centers are going to need so much energy to be able to process things.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a fantastic opportunity. You can lower the cost of the pricing, you can double use the assets in an efficient way, and then you can really, really impact the bottom line. So we've also done a maritime program in vessel to grid. So it's also working with the likes of Red Funnel Ferries and Artemis Technologies who build
Yes.
the high speed boats and
Oh, yep.
electric boats.
Yep.
And
That's amazing. One of my dear friends, and I did his marketing back in the day, Lucas Opolinski of Opolinski Designs. He was the first one to work with a global naval captain on designing solar. This was way before what we have, the technology we have now, but solar and desalination and water powered, hydro powered vessels, but like super luxury yachts. And then he drilled down to smaller vessels. And so I'd love to connect you with him as well.
I'd love
Yeah.
to get connected
Yep.
because we're actually going to be putting in another application. And Innovate UK have basically said that, we were so successful at the last program, there's quite a bit of capital in there to develop something new around different port environments in the UK.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's Polish and US as well. So definitely we'll be connecting you with him. Now, when it comes to uh, having such an expansive global business or that can be applied globally type of business, where do you base yourself?
I base myself in the Bahamas.
Yes, yes, yes. That's one of the things that we connected on because I moved my base to the Puerto Rico, and so we were talking about our own efficiencies in our own lives, and that's through going to places where we can provide value as well as take advantage of their tax benefits and offerings as well as a business, and be able to be in the middle of places. So like I can easily jump to Central South America and or the US,
Yeah.
and it's just like a little more central.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kinda like
and
kinda stuck in between a few places and it's quite easy to get it. Yeah, I love it
yeah,
here. I
yeah,
love
exactly. And where are you at now?
I'm actually in Bedfordshire in the UK. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I came back, for about a month just to, work with clients and do some deployments. So we've actually
Yeah.
about to sign a contract that's worth £143 million in 5 years. 5 years.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank
This
you.
is amazing. And you're raising capital now?
We're raising capital from strategics.
Yeah,
So,
strategics. Yeah. Tell us
yeah,
more about that because I know that we discussed this because as a fund, it doesn't matter. It's in the venture capital space as well as in the founder space. Women are, and I hate to keep having this topic. I wish I could stop having this topic, everyone.
yep,
And it's in probably almost every other one of my episodes. But why are we still receiving such a little amount of investments, whereas the past 10 years of data from Boston Research Global showed that if you give a woman a dollar, she'll give you back $1.78. If you
yep.
give a man a dollar, he'll give you back $1.31.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a and it's like, and the only thing that I can think of is they're so used to doing business with each other, and most
exactly.
humans don't like change,
Yes,
and uh, and so they're just, and also this is a new thought that I had, and it might be a little below the belt, but I really don't give a shit. And it is they experience at home in their households from either as a young boy with their mother or
but
with their wife, the nagging and it's not even nagging, and they might see it as nagging, but it's really they just care and love and wanting to make sure that they are uh on the right path and well taken care of, and pushing on their goals and being encouraging, and sometimes there might be some emotional ebbs and flows, and that's okay because we grow through those moments. So if people could also start learning that a disharmony is a moment for growth, right?
100%. Yeah,
And
just
so
all that stuff is for growth. Exactly. I
but so men, I do know, find it harder to grow, and it is scientifically proven they are more emotional than we are, sensitive, something of that nature.
They are sensitive. The
And it's
ego.
so if I mean, and there's healthy egos too. So I just also feel that subconsciously they're like, "Oh, a woman, ugh," and like they're like, do a deal with her. God forbid
She might be different.
she scold me,
Yeah.
but it's not really scolding. We're just wanting to level the f up.
We just kind of have expectations here because we hold ourselves here. Do you know what I mean? That's it.
Yes,
That
yes,
precision.
and that's also another data research that just came out about women hold higher expectations of ourselves because of for so long we there's Julie Pham, I think, has also said this in the last podcast. There's research that showed that men and women in the workplace and the roles and responsibilities and deliverables and expectations in that title or that role, they would the benchmark would be for the man, and he would hit it, and they would just be like, "Okay, great, good job, and here's your promotion." A woman, every time she hit it, they would give more benchmarks,
Yeah.
and so I don't know what the heck is going on, but this
Just
is why.
because you know what it is? I reckon it's because we're too good. No, seriously, I have a theory about that.
Yeah,
'Cause I feel like if you're too good at something, right, and then people wanna keep you, they wanna over promote you because they don't want you to be in the next level. They want you to do the work that you're doing, so they want
yeah,
that productivity from you. Because why else are you
yes.
doing the just
This
making
is very true, very true. So this is why we've taken our own leads and our own positions, and
yeah,
so that goes back to you signing these big contracts. And tell us what type of strategic investor you are seeking right now. Because are you trying to hit different industries? So, because I might have some in my network or listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, so we are doing a land and expand model. So we've piloted with the industrial, fleet kind of asset driven environment, and now we've expanded, and that's what that contract's about. And then we've got maritime, we need to land and expand that. And then we've
Okay.
got centers, we need to land and expand that. So I've got a pilot
It broke up data centers, you said?
data centers and other
Okay.
verticals. We need to land and expand that. So
Okay.
what we've done is I've got a pilot that I'm going to be working on with a data center developer. So,
Okay.
and then I want to expand that out to the UK, to America, and to the rest of Australia.
Well, I want to give a shout out to make sure you also look them up, and I'll introduce you. Big Watt Digital. They have the largest power purchase agreement contract with the state of South Dakota. They first started off as Bitcoin mining legacy treasury, but then pivoted into combining data centers as well. They're
Yeah.
also opening up Texas, and then they just partnered with a developer for data centers on top of them developing their own. And they're looking to go public here soon also. So I have a term sheet signed with them. That's one of
Wow.
our investments. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but about 8 years ago, I had a billionaire boyfriend, and he was very secretive about some like startup he was working on. But then he would hear me on my business calls, and he was like, "Hey, babe, can you? I think you can help us." And I was like, "Okay, what?" And he told me, and then so he was like, "Can you help us raise capital, find the new energy source?" And when and he was building energy efficient crypto mining, Bitcoin mining pods. And this was before people started. It was when a lot of the Bitcoin mining and crypto mining were failing and shutting down because
Yeah.
people went into it not knowing, they weren't engineers and didn't know how to. And
Run
so
this
they,
high-speed
so
data center, basically.
yeah. And so I was like, and I had worked helping my boyfriends in their businesses in the past and made them lots of money, and I never got a dollar. So I said, "You're signing a contract," and
Yeah.
so I signed a contract, and it just so happened. So I spent several weeks studying because they wanted a new energy source. Spent several weeks studying the world's energy, and I found what's called wasted stranded energy, which is flare on oil fields. And I thought to myself, can I just push the flare back down into the pipe and put the pods next to it somehow? And because it's dangerous to transport. I also have been always focused on healing broken systems in our world, and also helping the planet in some type of way. And that's reducing emissions is one of them. Flare was top 3 emission causing. If you were to stack $50 billion in cash and light it on fire, that's what they were just releasing into the air, and money as well. So I remembered that my very first investor that I accidentally raised money. I was on my own marketing agency. I was doing brand partnerships, sponsorships for Formula One electric racing. And the CMO and CFO said, "Hey, if you find an investor, let us know." I go to host and co-produce an event during Art Basel for Steven Tyler from Aerosmith and his daughters, the 2 younger ones under Liv. Liv was there and so forth. And a group of gentlemen at the table, this is why my firm's called Sacral Capital, my gut. My Sacral said, "Go up to that group of gentlemen." Well, it just so happened to be the owner of Gulf Oil License of Mexico. He built the first Formula One racetrack of Mexico. He bought John F. Kennedy's family's oil and logistics maritime company. So
Wow.
that's another intro for you.
Absolutely.
And uh, they were like, "What are you doing?" And so then he invested 50 million into Formula E. I didn't get a dollar out of the deal. That's what moved me into like venture capital, private equity. But 3 years later, after that deal, I had thought of this invention to bypass the flare, and so I called him up. I hit him up on WhatsApp. I said, "You got a minute? I have something I want to run by you." We spoke on the phone. 3 minutes later, he's buying us tickets to Boston, putting us in a house. And within 45 days, we had sprinted with Hess, Google Sprint, and a few others. And we were able to deploy. My invention worked to Alberta, Canada, North
Hi.
Dakota. No one had invented this yet. No one had talked about utilizing flare to power. Everyone thinks it was a bunch of men did, and there's no way for me to patent it because it's not patentable because of all the parts. So I just had to put out my own little press release, and that's it. And so to this day, not that many people know it was me, but it was. No one had ever done it before. And I also, and that was one of the last times I got effed over on a deal because then my boyfriend decided to dissolve the company behind my back.
No.
So, oh yeah, his
You knew all
billionaire,
the dirty
his
tricks, didn't
billion,
you?
his billionaire daddy taught him how to take
Restructure
advantage.
companies.
Huh?
Basically, how to restructure companies and then, yeah,
Yes. Yes. So I was owed 1.25 million. They only gave me 16,000. I was supposed to get treasury, but that never happened. So, but that's an expensive MBA is what we call that.
absolutely. And, and
Yeah.
this is what I was talking about, like how you just go, you know what? I might not know anything about this, but this sounds really interesting. Let me look into this.
But I was raised around engineers, so to say. My father
Right.
owns a collision center. So I was
Right.
raised around cars and engineering. I was a professional dancer. That's using another type of the brain. And
Yes.
then my family were also musicians. I was raised with a music studio in our home. Every morning,
Oh,
on Sunday mornings, there would be tuning to the instruments. And so all the notes, right, to each instrument. And that's why I'd wake up too loud. So my brain is programmed to reverse engineer things.
yeah.
It's just you don't have to be
Yeah.
a degree held engineer.
Absolutely not.
No, so
That's actually to your disadvantage as well. The fact that you can see things beyond what they can see because you're looking at it from a very different point of view.
yes, thank you for saying that. And you too, Marianne. I don't know what your degrees were, but it doesn't even matter.
It's definitely not in power, energy, or software. But
I
yeah,
mean, but if you also look at it, we are power, we are currents inside of us. So it's like it's a whole nother topic.
totally.
And yeah, yeah. And so you talked about loving data, and I also love, spirit as well. So I like mixing data and science together. Which data is science? I like mixing data and spirit together, science and spirit
Tuition.
together.
Yeah.
It's not just intuition, it's just having trust,
Belief.
um,
It's
huh?
trust, belief, it's vision, it's all a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And then, yesterday I I called in. I have a healer's a performance coach, a spiritual guru lady, and her name is Shakti. And she was like, "Hey, make sure you tap into your spirit guides, like what we call my spiritual committee." So I have like a business and personal, all these different committees of people that have passed, people in my family, or people that I didn't know that are there that are just like what I'm doing. And I only did a 7-minute little meditation of it, and all of a sudden, I start hearing my phone going ding, 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 ding. I'm like, "Stay in your meditation," because I forgot to put it on silent. I'm like, "Stay, stay, stay." And lo and behold, it is exactly what I called in,
There you go. There you
and it literally arrived right there. And so these are the moments when you're having full faith and trust in yourself and in the universe,
absolutely.
and
I
we
really
can
believe in
do
that as well.
whatever we what?
I really believe in the universe as well. I really believe in like the energy flows. I mean,
Yeah.
it's scientific, but it also,
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I do need this that data of my phone dinging was
yeah,
the facts and the science backing the spirit.
exactly. I
May
lost,
and
lost
sometimes it doesn't come that right immediately. Sometimes it'll come in a few days, which is fine. And you just have to trust then too and be patient because desperate energy creates constriction. So then that goes back to us raising capital as women, right?
yeah.
So share your journey on why you decided to switch, which is an intelligent switch, but to strategic capital. What happened?
I just wasn't getting anywhere with the VCs. I'll be honest. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm in Europe, which is a very difficult place anyway. So
Yeah.
a lot of people think, oh yeah, I've got a woman's agenda, whatever it is, but I think it's not necessarily the case. I think it's just a badge that they sort of put on and they do, and they kind of get you around and do pitches, get you to the next stages, and then go, oh, I don't really understand this, and I don't think it's going to work. And I'm like, well, it has because I'm signing contracts. So
Yeah. I wonder now that you're having your strategics come in, that when you go back to them, these strategics can also sit on your board, or not your actual like board, but like an advisory board, things of this nature. Yeah. And so Uh, what how is it being structured with your strategics?
And so at the moment, it's about ASAs at the moment. And then,
Can you describe that to our listeners? What
so
ASA is?
ASA is a safe note. So you
Mm-hmm.
basically make a commitment to convert the money you put in into shares at a certain value.
Okay,
Uh,
got it.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
either a flaw in the valuation or something that's been set.
Okay, that we don't use ASA in the US. Is that a European term?
Yes, it's like a safe
Okay.
note. A safe note would be what you would
Yep.
consider an ASA.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a convertible.
Yes, but with
Yes.
no coupon.
No coupon. Yeah, we don't use the word coupon really here. I don't really hear it that much. Maybe in the grocery stores. I don't even know if people use them in grocery stores anymore.
I think the debt market's moved on since I was at uni.
Yeah. And so, but these strategics, they are also using your services. No?
Yeah. Uh, mm, yes. So the strategics that I want to onboard, absolutely. So there are a few strategics that would be using our services, and they will be in the verticals. So we've got partners and we've got customers. We've got a strategic investor who was the ex-CEO of Morgan Stanley's equity. So he's strategically into like funding in the future, right? So any
Okay.
capitalization events, that kind of thing is very well connected.
Yep.
Uh, but the other strategies that we want to bring on board, we would want to have a customer relationship with them. So there's
Yeah.
another we're talking to a big consultancy about they want to put some money in, but we obviously need to make sure that they're not restricting our growth and our pathway because they want certain things developed first. So we just sort of understand that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. Because when I heard you say strategics, I thought you meant, okay, here is a big maritime company, and they want to implement our services. So, in order for us to scale, they give us 50% upfront, and then in return for that, we give them a safe.
Yeah. Yes, that's what we want to proceed with. So we've got our first strategy over the line, obviously
Okay.
being equity side, but yes, absolutely, that's the structure I want to go for. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that always works. Another one of my Sacral sister women in Salt Lake, she's doing the same thing with her AI implementation also, but for something else. A different AI, all the AIs.
Only AI is
Yeah.
going on.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. And then I guess just share with the listeners where we can find you or where they can reach out to you.
Yeah. You can reach out to me on email. So maryann.chen@kaasai.ai. That's
Can you
always
spell
easy.
it out?
Yep. maryann.chen@kaasai.ai. And I'll always respond.
Perfect. Amazing. And you spent years inside other people's capital decisions as well, right?
Did.
Before you ever raised a dollar for Kasai. So you were in treasury and cash flow, compliance. And
Yep.
now that you've sat on the other side of the table as a founder raising capital, how has that changed the way you think about money?
Look, I'm very protective of other people's money. That's the
Yes,
thing.
same. Yeah.
If you give me money, I have to give you a return, and I will
Yeah.
bust my ass for it because you trusted me with your money. Do you know what I mean? And that's the
Yep.
thing.
That's
I
so
will.
wild you say that. Not in a negative way or like so wild. It's not that wild, but all the stories we hear, like, it's insane. I mean, the fiduciary, and that goes back to the women raising capital. It's a fiduciary responsibility to not turn down a company that's going to generate more money. For me, if I was an LP and you're sitting here turning down a women-led business that's going to definitely generate more than an all male-led business, that I feel like people should be reprimanded for that.
I mean,
You
it's
know.
definitely opportunities, and people need to have a look at how the data behind
But
the
it's a
rejection.
fiduciary responsibility, so you're gonna
Like
go invest.
LPs.
I think it's almost illegal that you are deciding to invest in another company that is not going to generate the higher returns that can be generated. I think that's illegal.
I agree. I mean, exactly.
And
It's
I
fiduciary.
hope yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, because
Sorry.
it's you have a responsibility to your LPs, don't you? That's the thing.
Yes. Yes, and I hope that little clip goes viral.
Me too, because I mean,
Yeah.
like, how many times have people turned down great opportunities and the market's
Hmm.
changing. It's
Yes,
changing.
yes. All the way down to people complain to me about coming into Teams when I use my Teams video meetings. But currently, Teams and Microsoft has the highest level of E5 security, cybersecurity, and
We
banks
use.
and the governments use it. And
Yeah.
and everyone's like, oh well, and I'll talk to other funds and firms that have hundreds of millions, and I'm like, they're like, "Oh, we use Zoom and we use Google Meets." I'm like,
Oh,
first of all, Zoom
so
was hacked all
every
throughout COVID.
time, all the
2,
time.
and not only was Zoom hacked throughout COVID, then Google's fine little data, they can go inside of anything that you have whenever they want, however they want. And
Exactly.
I'm just like, no, thank you. And then also, now I'm writing new AI policies and procedures into the business. So I'm not connecting my Claude to my Microsoft OneDrive system. I am
Not
not,
doing.
I don't care how I love Claudes and I love the Groks and I love all, those are my only two right now. I'm not um using the GPTs and the Geminis.
GPT's gone for me now. I'm
Oh,
using. Yeah.
no, GPT's backed by they're very they have turned their LLMs to where it's only providing us data that they want us to know. So it's like,
Yes.
no thanks. So, but with I won't connect those because it's third party. And
Correct.
what if something leaks inside of to my LP's financial information? Again, fiduciary responsibility. It's all the same thing. It's all the way
100%.
down to there. I'm really, really, really stickler. I change my passwords in my data rooms all the time, and
Use a
yeah,
password.
I don't see this level of responsibility from people who are managing money. Yeah,
No, I don't see it either. And they're using, like, other things like Notion to do with the data. I mean, you could like,
I'm not doing it. I won't do it. I'm
what's
not.
wrong with the OneDrive? That's secure. Like, what's wrong with that? Right?
Yep, exact. Have you ever put your own capital into someone else's company, or like formally as an angel, or informally backing a friend's deal?
No. I've
Yeah,
sort of
no.
No, I haven't. I think I've just, like, backed the stuff I was doing, but I think, after this will be quite big. So after this sort of goes through, I'll be looking at, yeah, how
Yeah,
to do that.
amazing. Good for
Yeah.
you. You're ready to take that next step. And then when you look at where capital is actually flowing in AI and energy right now, what do you wish more investors understood, especially about women building in spaces like yours? So, first, what do you wish investors understood more about AI and energy? And then women building in spaces like yours.
Think, they need to understand how AI is applied in different platforms. I think everybody thinks AI and they go, "LLMs," and it's not. We're not building a model. Models are
Mm-mm.
fine, but they're going to be, I mean, like, I'm sorry to say this, it's gonna be a commodity. One's gonna win. Actually,
Yeah.
who's gonna
Uh,
win, and then for different reasons, right? I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah. There's a race. It's a race. Yeah.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
what we do is that we sort the mess in the operations, which nobody has
Hmm.
been able to do. And then you can apply AI to it, and now you've got something special because you've got the right data. That's
Hmm.
and I don't think investors really understand that, especially the investors I spoke the funds I spoke to, because they just didn't understand how a business was run.
No, because they're probably not organized themselves. So they probably wouldn't even know where to organize in the first place. Right?
Sad but
So
true.
there is another industry that I'm going to want to tap you into, and that is aviation. So predictive modeling, predictive maintenancing, and scheduling of ordering of parts and or pooling parts for
Yep,
those. So that's one area that I'm investing in as well. I'm going to be building our own MRO as a private equity play inside of my fund. And
yep,
we're going to be applying these technologies and probably acquiring other MROs because then they're distressed valuable assets, or they just don't know how to be ran by the paper pushers like inside and unorganized. um
yep.
in addition, it's fuel predicting as well, like empty legs, and
That's the
there's
thing that
a
energy efficiency.
yeah,
Exactly.
exact. And then we're also going to be doing 3D 4D printing of aviation and aerospace parts. So
Very
this
interesting.
yeah, yeah, because
Uh,
a lot of parts are there's a scarcity of parts out there.
supply
So
chain. is
Yeah,
broken.
the supply chain. Yeah. But it's not even that, it's just also broken. It's just like, again, they weren't organized in their data,
So it's
and predicting when parts need to be produced or manufactured.
oh my God, Brandi, I need to tell you about this story, right? It's to do with a company I used to
Go
work.
ahead.
And literally, it's a mining company, and these are all men. And
Mining?
the site used to get shut down because they didn't get their predictive maintenance right. So I went in and I stripped out all their systems and fed the whole logistics, procurement, everything, so they wouldn't get shut down. Can you believe that?
It's insane.
Like,
You and I could talk for hours. For hours and hours and hours, which I'm excited to meet you in person soon. And Maryann, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for listening to this Friday episode number 23. Maryann, it's an honor to have you on the show. Everyone, just always take the damn plunge, okay? And yeah, just do it and have a prosperous rest of your week. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks for plunging into sacred wisdom and regenerative wealth with us. If your soul and your portfolio just got a glow up, hit subscribe on YouTube, Amazon, Spotify, and Apple. Share it with your crew. Tag us on social and join the movement at plungeintoprosperity.com. I am Brandi Kolosky. Catch you on the next plunge.